Why the rich fear equality, the truth they don't want you to hear. They tell us inequality is natural, inevitable, maybe even good for us, but that's a lie. The truth? The wealthiest 10% in Britain earn nearly half of everything, while millions of us struggle to keep the lights on. This isn't an accident, it's by design. And the wealthy aren't just afraid of paying more tax, they're terrified of losing their grip on power. Look around you. Your neighbours working 2 jobs but can't afford childcare, your parents choosing between heating and eating, your kids' schools crumbling while private education thrives. This is what inequality looks like up close, not in statistics, but in stolen futures. Remember when a home was something you could actually afford, when your rent didn't swallow half your paycheck? Today, housing is a wealth extraction machine. Your landlord's retirement plan is your lifetime of rent payments. Your children's inheritance is your mortgage debt. The average house now costs 8 times the average salary. For our parents, it was 3 times. Meanwhile, 270,000 people sleep rough on our streets. And the wealthy? They're buying their third home as an investment opportunity. When you wait 12 hours in A&E, that's inequality. When your mental health support is a 6-month waiting list, that's inequality. When your grand's care home costs more than your annual salary, that's inequality. The rich don't wait, they don't queue, they don't worry if they can afford treatment, they have options. You have anxiety. Your child's education shouldn't depend on your bank balance, but it does. Private school students are 5 times more likely to attend elite universities than state schools pupils with the same grades. It's not about merit, it's about money. And when they graduate, the privately educated walk into jobs through connections their parents made on the golf course, while your kids compete with 500 other entry-level positions that barely cover the rent. Britain is 2 nations, one booming, one abandoned. In Glasgow, men die 13 years earlier than in Kensington. 13 years of life stolen by a postcode lottery. Your hometown isn't struggling because you didn't work hard enough. It's struggling because the wealth and power are hoarded in the London and the South East. For every 12 jobs created in the South, just 1 appears in the North. When they closed your local factory, they didn't just take the jobs, they stole your community's future. Democracy, please. When 14 wealthy families donate 130 million to political parties, they're not being charitable, they're buying influence. Every tax loophole, every privatisation, every deregulation, these aren't accidents, they're investments that pay back 1,000-fold. The wealthy don't just fear equality, they actively fight against it. With the newspapers, the think tanks, the political donations, they own the game, and they write the rules. And the most insidious part, they've convinced many of us to blame ourselves. If you're struggling, it's because you didn't work hard enough. If your community is declining, it's because you didn't deserve better. This isn't just economic violence, it's psychological warfare. They've normalised the abnormal, made the outrageous seem inevitable, and while we fight each other over the crumbs, they'll feast at the table. When floods devastate working class neighbourhoods, that's inequality. When children develop asthma from polluted air near busy roads, that's inequality. When energy bills bankrupt families while oil companies announce record profits, that's inequality. The richest 1% produce more carbon emissions than the poorest 50% combined. Yet it's ordinary people who pay the price for climate chaos. But people are waking up. From renters' unions fighting evictions to communities saving their local services, from workers striking for dignity to young people demanding a future. The wealthy are right to be afraid, because when enough of us realise our power, everything changes. History proves it. The NHS wasn't a gift from the powerful, it was won through collective struggle. The weekend wasn't adopted by kind employers, it was fought for by organised workers. Every right you enjoy was wrestled from the grip of those who profit from inequality. They'll tell you a more equal Britain is impossible. Another lie. Countries like Denmark, Finland and Germany prove otherwise. They have stronger worker protections, more affordable housing and better public services. The difference? their wealthy don't have such a stranglehold on power. We're not asking for utopia, we're demanding what others already have. Imagine a Britain where housing is a right, not an investment, where your healthcare doesn't depend on your bank balance, where your children's future isn't determined by your postcode, where work pays enough to live with dignity. This isn't fantasy, it's entirely possible. The money exists, it's just in the wrong hands. A wealth tax of just 2% on assets over 10 million would raise 24 billion annually. A land value tax could raise 25 billion even when protecting farmers and essential services. Equalising capital gains tax with income tax could raise 15 billion. Equalising corporation tax and income tax could raise 15 billion. Closing tax loopholes after implementing these changes could ensure a further 45 billion stays within the economy and isn't poured away into offshore accounts. That's 124 billion. Enough to revolutionise British society and bring on a new generation of workers' prosperity. Enough to redistribute by lowering taxes for everyone. Enough to plug the holes in our public services. Enough to fund vital infrastructure. Enough to begin ending the vicious cycle of national debt. And the only thing stopping us is the stranglehold the wealthy have on our politics, our media, and our imagination. Let's be clear about what we're facing. This isn't about hard work versus laziness. It's about power versus powerlessness. It's not about creating wealth. It's about hoarding it. It's not about freedom. It's about control. And it's certainly not about what's best for Britain. It's about what's best for the privileged few who've rigged the system in their favour. The future of Britain belongs to all who live here, not just those who own it. Our greatest achievements, the NHS, universal education, workers' rights, all came from ordinary people demanding better. The wealthy fear equality because they know the truth. There's more than enough to go around if we share it fairly. The question isn't whether we can afford to build a more equal society. It's whether we can afford not to.